Something that has been swirling around in my mind recently has been whether all of these trends that we are seeing online are actually translating into real life. Or do they just exist in the vacuum of social media? The thing that really inspired this for me was working with my personal styling clients and seeing what they are wearing, what they're reaching for, but also just observing people out and about whenever I've headed into the city. So I have a whole bunch of trends here and I'm going to run through them and I'm going to tell you whether I saw people wearing them and if not, what they were wearing instead. And the very first one I want to start with are the Adidas Sambas. Now I'm conscious that these are probably coming towards the end of the trend cycle as I keep seeing people talking about what sneakers they should buy next. Just wear the shoes that you love. But yes, I did see quite a lot of people wearing the Sambas, not just in the white with the black stripe, but also in the black with white stripe, and also many of the different colored variations. But I saw a lot of different sneakers. The Nike Air Forces were a big one, the Adidas Gazelles, and also the Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66 sneakers, which are my own personal favorite. So starting off strong with one that definitely has translated into real life, and I wonder if part of the reason is because of how approachable and accessible adding a new sneaker into your rotation is. The second trend I've been seeing a lot lately are brooches, and I personally love this one because I think it's a nice way to add that personal touch to your outfits, that little bit of adornment that can act as a third piece. In particular, a way I've seen this styled is using vintage brooches to cover up the buttons on a vest, and I just thought that that was such a chic and genius idea. Now, in terms of practice, I did not see a single person wearing a brooch, bar one lady wearing a Chanel brooch on her tweed jacket, which I think was just part of the look. So I think that this is probably one that is not translating into real life. However, what I did observe was that most people were actually just wearing very minimal jewelry, things that aren't going to date. And this part of the video does include a paid for integration with Linjer, and I thought that this was the perfect time to mention them as I have added a few new pieces from their 14 karat gold collection into my jewelry rotation, and they're all really beautiful, so I want to highlight them here. If you're not familiar with Linjer, it's a female founded brand and their jewelry designs are really delicate, feminine and timeless. They are designed to withstand the test of time, and the quality of the materials is really good too. They use recycled gold and recycled silver. Their gold vermeil pieces are really robust with a minimum of 2.5 microns thickness on the gold plating, and they also utilize lab grown diamonds and lab grown emeralds in their pieces, which I think is just such an amazing sustainable initiative. So starting with the earrings, these are the Marlowe pearl drop earrings in the 14 karat gold. They have the beautiful organic Keshi pearl, and I really love these as a 14 karat gold alternative to the Mathilde earrings, which are still hands down to this day one of my favorite pieces from Linjer. And I will show you a side by side so that you can get a sense of the size comparison. But with the Marlowe, you can wear these ones in the shower without any issues. Then I think probably my favorite piece has to be the necklace that I'm wearing here. This is the Fleur necklace and it's got a petal chain, and I swear it just looks like sparkling diamonds, especially when the chain captures the light and it just bounces it off everywhere. I think this is just such a pretty piece that easily and effortlessly elevates the everyday. And then the final piece that I'm wearing is the Haldi's diamond flower necklace, and again this is in the 14 karat gold with the lab grown diamonds. I just think that this is really quite delicate and dainty and a nice way to add that little bit of sparkle around your face. Of course, I'm wearing some of my other favorites from Linjer, including my petite watch, my Evelina ring, my Elsa ring luxe. I just think that their jewelry is so beautiful, so well designed, and if you do want to treat yourself to anything, you can use my code Mademoiselle, which will get you a special discount off your purchase. And I love the fact that the 14 karat gold that they use has such a beautiful creaminess to it, which means it works really nicely both on cool and warm undertones. And I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitate to it so much as someone who does have an olive tone complexion. And you'll be able to shop all of my favorites from Linjer via my link in the description box too. So trend number 3 are bag charms, and more specifically Jane Birkinifying your bag. And this is just such a silly trend to me because Jane Birkin clearly added those trinkets to her bag with intention and over time, not all at once. And a lot of people are just buying all of this cheap junk and adding it to their bag in order to achieve a look, but it's not going to have the same impact or effect. I find that these sort of trends are a lot more impactful if you are doing them meaningfully and over a really long period of time, and then they become a true reflection of your style and your visual voice. I have to say that this was actually something I did not see at all. I saw 2 girls wearing a crossbody bag with a fluffy bag charm attached to the crossbody, but I didn't really feel like that counted, as it didn't feel like a proper reflection or a true reflection of this trend. So I'd say this is one I'm not seeing anywhere. And honestly, I think this is probably just rage bait, or people just creating this content because they see it's trending. I don't think this is happening in real life. Next trend are the wide leg jeans or wide leg pants. And these have been arguably around for quite a while now. They are not going anywhere. And yes, I did see a lot of wide leg jeans in particular, mid-rise, low-rise, high-rise, all of the above. But what was fascinating to me was that it was actually more the younger generations that were leaning in on this trend. I saw a lot of more mature women, or women who were probably around my age, wearing a slimmer or a skinny pant or jean. And I thought this was interesting for a few reasons. One, I think that when you find your style, quite often we tend to just sort of lean in on that for a really long period of our lives. We find what we love, we feel good in it, and then we just continue to wear it on repeat. And that is normal. No matter what social media tells you, it's not really the norm to be seeking out an entirely new style and wardrobe every year or every 2 years. I think that this is more commonly going to happen when you have those big life changes, like going from being a university student to starting your first full-time job, moving country, having children, and maybe going from the other end of the spectrum to becoming an empty nester or reaching retirement age. And that to me is really where I see those big shifts in personal style and what we feel most comfortable wearing. And it also brought up another theory for me, which is that I feel like quite often what we are reaching for on repeat, what we are wearing, is a bit of a reflection of the circle that we surround ourselves with. And I feel like that's part of our innate desire to fit in, to belong to a group. And one of the ways we can signal that is through what we're wearing. To me, a fascinating insight, especially as I love kind of thinking about how our minds work and as a collective, why we do certain things. So wide leg pants, yes, for sure, those are everywhere. Colored tights is another one that came up on this list, and to me this is a trend for the risk taker, someone who maybe is a little bit more maximal in their dressing, probably not going to be adopted by most people every day. And that was exactly what I found when I was out and about. Didn't see a single colored tight. People are still wearing black tights, or because I live in Sydney and it's really not that cold, bare legs. And I feel like this is something that we're more likely to see on social media or around Fashion Week, where people are peacocking or really just going to the extreme ends of the style spectrum in order to get noticed, to make a statement, or perhaps they just want to have a little bit of fun and experiment, which I think all the more to you. I know that there are people out there who do love a colorful sock, and I have seen it, and I know these people who are wearing it every day in daily life. However, I think across the board, this isn't something that is that common, but I do think there is a time and a place for a fun, colorful sock that can really add that little bright pop, especially if you're wearing sort of a trouser and there's a little bit of ankle peeping out. I think this is a really fun trend and also relatively inexpensive to add into your wardrobe, but I think it's that really bright pop, the thing that feels a little bit out of the box, that maybe is stopping people from really dialing into this particular one, at least from my experience. And I think part of this also comes down to where you are, what part of the world you're in, what everybody else around you is wearing, and also the different subsets within society. So while I might not have seen this trend out and about, it doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of people in my city wearing it. Maybe I just didn't come across them. The next trend on this list was ties, and when I saw this I thought, really? I had zero expectation of seeing this in real life, and I did not. I saw a lot of people just wearing regular scarves. People want their outfits to be practical, pragmatic, they want them to be functional, and really all a tie is doing is adding that little bit of aesthetic purpose. It's not really doing anything else. And I think there are two reasons why this isn't really a trend that will be picked up or commonly adopted. One being that we have ideas in our minds of who traditionally wears what. The second being that since 2020, I feel like a lot of workplaces are a little bit more relaxed, and so maybe ties are just a little bit less common even in men. So that's my 2 cents on it, but definitely not one that I'm seeing in real life at all. Next one is bomber jackets, and I have to say I saw so many of these out and about, particularly brown leather ones, which I thought was fascinating because I feel like most people would probably gravitate towards black because it's going to go with everything, it's going to be easy to style, but brown is such a nice neutral, especially that kind of darker brown that is almost a little bit cracked. It looks a bit lived in, and that was sort of the vibe that I was seeing. It has a bit of a softness to it, that rich chocolatey color, and it's less high contrast than black. And this was generally worn with jeans or with trousers. I didn't really see it paired with skirts or dresses at all, and the bomber jackets were on the whole longer, so they fell to hip length as opposed to being those cropped bomber jackets. I did also see some more like nylon ones as well, which are really classic, been around for a long time. What I didn't see were fuzzy textured bomber jackets. Pinstripes is another one of those core trends, and again this was one that I saw reflected IRL quite a bit, mostly in trousers, not really as a full suit, and I quite liked that, the fact that people were going for a bit more of a mismatch vibe, so wearing these lovely pinstripe pants with a block color top and then a different block color blazer or coat, and I thought that just looked really chic. Pinstripes are great because they are a vertical print, so they have this really nice elongating effect. They make your legs look longer. They're very, very flattering, and also I feel like it adds a sense of refinement to your outfit as well, even if it is something that's a little bit more casual. So that was another one I saw a lot of, and actually it just adds more confirmation bias to my hypothesis that the trends that I was most likely to see in person were ones that were a little bit more classic on the spectrum of trends. The next one is a color trend, the color red, and I have to say I was semi-expecting to see a lot more of this than I actually did. I thought I would see more apparel pieces in red, but actually I saw this reflected more so in the accessories. So red scarves, red lip, red sneakers. That one was one that I wasn't expecting actually. So while I think that yes, this is a trend that people are adding into their wardrobes, they're going with the most low risk option. So the pop of red at the feet or a scarf that they take off. So it's not really a huge part of their outfit. It's that styling element that comes into play that is functional and that really serves a purpose when they are walking out and about from destination to destination. Then moving on to a shoe trend, the ballet flats. And I expected to see this more, but I think I saw 2 women wearing ballet flats, and that is it. Again, keeping in mind that it is currently winter here, but if people weren't wearing sneakers or boots, they were wearing loafers. It were just oodles and oodles of loafers. Black loafers with a chain across the vamp. That was very, very common. And I think that this could be because ballet flats have a bit of a bad rap. They don't have very much or any support at all in the sole, and a lot of people like their shoes to be quite cushy and comfortable, and it's a little bit awkward to put an insole in there because of how delicate and dainty a ballet flat is. So I'm wondering if that might be why, or people just tend to like to lean in on the loafer because it might be more of a commonly accepted shoe style for the office. So I personally have always been wearing ballet flats, and it's funny because all of the times that I was in the city sort of reflecting on what everyone was wearing, I was wearing ballet flats, but no one else was. I was kind of the outlier in the situation. So that was interesting to me. And again, I actually thought I would probably see some red ballet flats, but I didn't see any of those at all. I was the one in the red ballet flats. So that wraps up this video. I just thought it'd be really interesting to chat through whether or not these trends are existing solely in the vacuum of social media, or if they are things that people are adopting and wearing in real life. I think if you're someone who is chronically online, it can sometimes be difficult to distinguish between the two because you feel like you're being exposed to it constantly, but actually you're only being exposed to it by other people who are seeing this trend on other people who are seeing this trend on other people on social media. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I want to know if there are any other trends that you feel like you see everywhere on social media but you just have never seen reflected in real life. Please discuss down in the comments. I feel like we can really have a fun chat about this down there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can use my discount code Mademoiselle at Linjer so you can save a little bit more off your purchase. I definitely recommend checking out their new 14 karat gold pieces if you haven't already. I have to say they are really well priced, and if you're new here and would like to subscribe, I'd love to have you back. I post a lot of styling tips, how to maximize your wardrobe, brand reviews, and I'm just so grateful you chose to spend some of your day with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week ahead, and I will see you next time with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.